Occultists often tend to get a kick out of the way the average person interprets their dreams, and rightfully so. To the average person, taken up by the faulty commentary of men like Freud and Jung, a dream is a completely subjective world existing only in the mind of the dreamer, and not even existing there. Psychologists suggest that dreams are no more than the subconscious working on a problem, or the subconscious acting out the daily worries and thoughts of the dreamer. They claim that dreams are a fleeting, non-existent universe created solely by the dreamer, and that all the events and characters contained in the dream are simply projections created by the sleeping individual. The reality of dreams, however, is a bit scarier. To start, it is a false assumption that the events and characters that occupy one's dreamscape are entirely their own creation. Far from being mere projections of the sleeper's psyche, some dream characters are in fact spirits who have clothed themselves in some form and have entered into your dream. As it turns out, the land of dreams, often synonymous with the astral plane, is in fact a far more objective reality than it is given credit for. In truth, you have met with spirits and perhaps other dreamers in the astral landscape. These spirits, being without a form of their own, are given shape by the dreamer. These beings then quote-unquote hijack the dream and force all of the dream's events to be centered around the spirit. In the waking hours, the dreamer is no less affected by these spirits, but simply remains unaware of their influence. In the dreaming hours, the subconscious mind makes these entities visible. Most occultists believe that in the dream state, the astral body has detached from the physical body, allowing the astral form to roam while the material body remains in bed. Most people in the dream state do not realize that they're dreaming, but instead accept the reality of their environment. Helplessness is a common feeling amongst dreamers because they feel as though they're acting out a role in someone else's movie. Lucid dreaming is the opposite of this. In a lucid dream, the dreamer is aware of the fact that they are dreaming. Instantly, the sleeper is transformed into a god and can resist the efforts of these outside entities. Once the dreamer becomes aware, these entities are easily routed and can even come to fear the dreamer. These spirits may attempt to terminate the dream prematurely so that the dreamer does not acquire complete awareness. The dream world, or astral plane, is said to respect the rules of space and time to a degree. This is evident by the fact that some dreams seem to last 30 minutes, while in reality, the sleeper was in a dreaming cycle for 5 minutes. Distances between 2 points are also nonlinear in the dream. Concepts of space and time remain, albeit altered. There are cases where the dream world seems to exist outside the boundaries of space and time. I've heard it remarked upon that the feeling of déjà vu was in fact a premonition of the future, delivered to the sleeper in a dream, and, months later, the person finds himself living the exact moment where they had predicted and dreamt about. It is said that the divine mind gives visions of the future to the dreamer. Going to bed on an empty stomach, a vegetarian diet, and abstinence from alcohol are claimed to facilitate these types of dreams. Occultists recognize no difference between the astral realm and the dream realm, to such the extent that astral projection is considered nothing more than lucid dreaming. This world of the astral is alleged to not be a separate world at all, but rather a realm that lies directly on top of the material world. The astral, or quote-unquote spirit world, is said to be touching every point in our space. These dream-invading spirits are often engaging in a little more than just play, for it is said that many spirits vampirically feed from the sleeper's life force. Life force is an invisible form of energy that surrounds and empowers the body. The life force, sometimes called the astral body or aura, surrounds the physical body and usually extends a couple inches or feet outside of the physical body. A human void of life force is dead, regardless of the biological health of the person. During the night, especially while dreaming, the body converts food into life force and replenishes the body. But in truth, the process of creation and depletion is happening at all times. The first indication that someone's life force was fed upon by a spirit is getting plenty of sleep and still waking up feeling tired and depleted. Caffeine is the usual remedy for this. The rate of expenditure of life force increases during times of high emotional stresses. Feelings like worry, fear, depression, anger, and lust all help to spill the cup of life. At these times, the human being radiates or wastes life force more intensely. Fresh fruits and vegetables are considered to have higher concentrations of this life force as opposed to meats and processed foods. Life force, the energy of the spirit, manifests itself from the astral world through specific points on the body called a chakra. Although there is much disagreement regarding how many chakra points the human body has, since in truth it has many, 5 to 7 of them are widely accepted and considered major chakras. The major chakra points form a linear, vertical path from the soles of the feet up the spine to a region just above the head. These chakra points are essentially junctions between someone's material and etheric body. Life force from that etheric body pours in to replenish the material body. At night, the vampiric spirits induce feelings of fear and lust in dreams and feed from the extra life force created. It's also worth noting that activities such as nervous twitches, chewing gum, excessive talking, and pretty much any unnecessary activity further spills the cup of life. The beings in the astral cannot partake in the material world without bugging into someone. Okay, so dreams are important. First, begin a dream journal. I find this a pain in the ass and prefer to record dreams audibly with a microphone instead of a pen. Secondly, do not burst out of bed, but instead take a moment to recall your dreams before they slip from the mind as your daily activities begin. Third, deep trances are nothing more than a kind of dreaming where consciousness remains. So stilling the mind would allow conscious travel of the astral world. Deep trances are difficult, but you may be able to take advantage of the brainwaves experienced during sleep by setting an alarm clock for the middle of the night. The gentler the waking, the better. And, as long as you can turn off the alarm without much fuss, you can more easily go into a trance than you could in waking hours. Fourth, don't go to bed on a loaded stomach or intoxicated. The middle pillar ritual. Lamer disclaimer. The following ritual is designed to open or energize your chakras. However, it will make you feel strange. If, after doing this ritual, you feel sick, desist from further invocations. You will be visualizing 5 of your chakra points. You will imagine each of them as a soccer ball-sized sphere, becoming increasingly bright and energized. The first chakra point is just above your head. The second is in the throat. The third at the center of the chest, level with the heart. The fourth is located in the pelvis, and the fifth at the soles of the feet. While imagining each chakra point becoming energized, the name of God associated with that chakra center must be quote-unquote vibrated. In order to vibrate a word, simply say it in the deepest voice possible, spending at least 3 seconds on each syllable. The vibrations of your voice should be felt in the throat, hands, and feet. While vibrating that chakra's name of God, imagine yourself speaking into the glowing sphere, and make that slowly energizing chakra vibrate to the rhythm of your voice. You begin by imagining a beam of light originating from high above, landing upon a soccer ball-sized sphere just above your head. You then begin vibrating that chakra's name of God, while imagining the beam of light filling the chakra with energy. Vibrate the name of God about 10 to 15 times before allowing that beam of energy from high above to fall upon the next chakra below. Each chakra should take around 4 minutes. Remember to stretch each syllable in the name of God at least 3 seconds, and do not allow your breathing and mistakes shake the visualization from your mind. Contrary to popular belief, the variety of beings one finds in the spirit world is nearly as rich as the variety of beings in the material world. even though all of these beings are often erroneously clumped together and called quote-unquote spirits. Just like those who inhabit the material plane, the inhabitants of the spirit world can fall into general categories. I will use this blanket label spirits too, although it doesn't do justice to the variety of beings in the other realms. As for the categories themselves, the first is elementals, the second is spirits or astral spirits, the third is demons, the fourth is larvae, and the last is angels. Elementals are those who, unlike many spirits, have etheric bodies. These etheric bodies allow them to interact with the material world by their own volition. The occult recognizes 5 elements: fire, water, air, earth, and spirit. Occultists recognize 4 types of elementals, and each type is assigned an element: undines, salamanders, sylphs, and gnomes. Undines are elementals of the element water. They are graceful, sensual, often pale, and prefer the female form, and watery habitation. Salamanders, associated with the element fire, are known for being emotionally unstable. Their actions are rapid and explosive. When conjured, a salamander may prefer to arrive as a male with glowing eyes. Sylphs, the elementals of air, are intelligent, subtle, and, like salamanders, make rapid movements. Gnomes are the elementals associated with the element earth. These beings are said to live underground and in caves. Contrary to popular folklore, gnomes are not short, funny little men. They can be overly emotional and even dangerous. They are often more quote-unquote solid than the other types of elementals, and may often arrive with dark hair, dark eyes, and olive-colored skin. The quote-unquote standard spirit has only an astral form, but no etheric or physical body. These types of beings may not operate in our world at all without possessing a living creature. Only by plugging into a living being may they have any experiences of or gain any pleasure from our world. Many spirits are described as moving back and forth between the material and astral planes, but direct contact between these entities and human beings usually happens in dreams. It is believed by many members of the occult and the members of Islam that each human being is assigned both a demonic counterpart and an angelic counterpart. Spirits of this kind, those assigned to you at birth, are often called tutelary spirits. It is true, however, that all humans are subject to the whisperings of not only their own demon, but demons and spirits who roam freely. After a vampiric spirit latches onto a human, they become increasingly difficult to remove. The spirit will feed from the negative thoughts of the individual and continue to further induce the very thoughts that feed it. Many of the worst, most inhumane crimes ever committed were likely to be the result of possession from a demonic spirit. In fact, these spirits are responsible for most people's most horrid acts, including yourself. When possessing a human, the spirit may enjoy all strong sensations, even pain, and this probably explains the self-destructive natures of those who are under possession. People who have been labeled crazy are often seen talking to themselves and interacting with a seemingly fictitious world, but it is indeed a mistake to assume that these people are responding to a completely non-existent forms. There could very well be someone, or something, on the other end of that conversation. Some people are under strong influence of negative spirits, while other people may be extremely psychic, but for either grouping, the results are the same: insanity. A possessing spirit may be starved by controlling the thoughts that feed it, in which case the spirit will detach from the individual and go find sustenance elsewhere. In other cases, the spirit must be exorcised. Spirits exist in a hierarchy, and consequently, those conducting the exorcism usually call upon the names of God or entities superior to the possessing spirit to drive away the pest. The spirit may be cast out during the exorcism, or may be confined to an object, which is to be discarded. Do not make the amateur's mistake of associating the inhabitants of the spirit or astral world with the afterlife of human beings. The entities that reside in the astral plane are not human and probably never were. Simply put, these entities have nothing to do with your dead grandma. Although many people imagine spirits as extremely concerned with the activities of humans, in truth, many spirits are indifferent to humans. Spirits and elementals see the earth as a three-dimensional living environment, and as a result, many spirits live beneath the ground, in the air, in the waters and oceans, and in the wooded areas. What's more is that many of these beings will usually choose to live away from high concentrations of humans and may be inclined to inhabit deserted regions. Only a small percentage of elementals and spirits choose urban habitations. Spirits are subject to the will of man by the working of magic, but they still have individual personalities and share the same palette of emotions humans have. Spirits share many of our emotions, but so do many animals of the material plane. Although their emotions are often similar to people, the intellect of a spirit is, on the average, beneath a human's. Some spirits have intellect that is above and beyond the mind of a man, but most are as intelligent as the higher orders of the animal kingdom. Other spirits may not be sentient and may have no true will of their own, but may simply be collections or concentrations of spiritual energy. There are physical effects that can be associated with the presence of a spirit. The individual may feel a tingling at the back of their neck, their fingertips, and toes. It may also include the sensation of spider webs being laid across the skin, or cold breezes gracing the flesh. Those in the presence of a spirit may have a general feeling of not being alone, or being watched, perhaps sensing an upsurge of emotions like joy or fear. Many quote-unquote ghost hunters claim that spirits, perhaps more likely elementals, produce a slight magnetic field when they're present, and produce fluctuations in magnetic fields as they pass. It is also often reported that they can use microphones to produce noise they otherwise would not be able to indulge the ears of those present with. If our eyes were sensitive to the spirit world, we would see orbs and shadows moving about our homes countless times in a single day. Some objects, which we know to be inanimate, may even appear alive. This spiritual traffic is quite normal and usually not harmful. The possible psychological effects on those who are sensitive to the spirit world, and a world of those who aren't, could be crippling, and those sensitive people who cannot reconcile the material and spirit worlds are more readily labeled insane. Cats, and a few other animals, can see more of the spirit world, and you may find them transfixed by seemingly empty space. This quote-unquote empty space may only be empty in our eyes, whereas the cat may be observing the comings and goings of a spirit. Most intelligent spirits are associated with the 5 elements, the 7 planets, or the clip-off. They are considered elementals if associated with the 5 elements. They are called spirits and intelligences if they are associated with the 7 planets, and spirits associated with the clip-off are exclusively demonic. According to Kabbalistic teachings, the clip-off is essentially the Averse universe. This is a mirror image of the celestial universe, an anti-universe, if you will. The Kabbalistic tree of life represents the celestial realms, while the tree of knowledge of good and evil represents the clip-off, this anti-universe. If you recall, these are the 2 trees Adam and Eve encountered in the Garden of Eden. The demons, or cliphotic spirits, represent another classification of spirits. The word demon has come to mean any negative spirit which is hostile to mankind. These beings are extremely chaotic and may not always have a conception of the consequences of their actions. Demons are adverse to humans and are either in the clip-off or roaming the earth, feeding from life force and causing strife and illness among mankind. They are also highly impulsive and violent, reveling in only the base emotions like lust, fear, and anger. They, like many spirits, possess the minds of human beings so that they may derive pleasure from our world. Evidence of their presence is intense feelings of fear and perhaps disgusting odors. Demons are exclusively vampiric in nature and feed from the life force of humans, and it is our life force that gives the demon substance and energy. These spirits can become powerful if allowed to continue feeding in the material plane. Although capable of wearing many forms, demons tend to prefer arriving as hideous forms, with voices and odors that humans find disagreeable.